Hey guys, today I'm going to do a study on Genesis chapter 50, so let's get into it. Then Joseph, leaning over his father's face, wept and kissed him. Just right before this, when Jacob had finished giving charges to his son, he drew his feet into the bed, took his last breath, and was gathered to his people. So Jacob just died. So Joseph, since he loved his father, wept and kissed him because he just died. He commanded his servants who were physicians to embalm his father, so they embalmed Israel. They took 40 days to complete this, for embalming takes long, and the Egyptians mourned for him for 70 days. So the Egyptians mourned for him 70 days because Joseph got favor with Pharaoh, and he's like the second most powerful person in Egypt. Like Israel dying was important, an important sad day for all Egyptians during this time. When the days of mourning were over, Joseph said to Pharaoh's household, "If I have found favor with you, please tell Pharaoh that my father made me take an oath, saying, I am about to die. You must bury me there in the tomb that I made for myself in the land of Canaan. Now let me go and bury my father, then I will return." So Pharaoh said, "Go and bury your father in keeping with your oath." So he said, "If I have found favor with you please tell Pharaoh that my father made me take an oath, saying, I'm about to die. You must bury me there in the tomb that I made for myself in the land of Canaan. Now let me go and bury my father, then return." So he went to Pharaoh's household and asked Pharaoh permission to leave so that he could bury Israel, because Israel wanted him to. "I'm about to be gathered to my people. Bury me my ancestors in the cave in the field of Ephron Hephite. The cave is in the field of Mephilah near Morah, in the land of Canaan. This is the field that Abraham purchased from Ephron the Hephite as burial property. Abraham and his wife Sarah are buried there. Isaac and his wife Rebekah are buried there. And I buried Leah there. The field and the cave in it were purchased from the Hephites." So that's where he told Joseph to bury him, where Abraham buried Sarah and God buried. So Pharaoh, since he found favor with him because of the Lord, because the Lord allowed him to prophesize the dream. Yeah. Pharaoh said to Joseph, "I had a dream and no one can interpret it, but I have heard it about you that you can hear a dream and interpret it." "I'm not able to," Joseph answered Pharaoh. "It is God who gave Pharaoh a favorable answer." So Joseph, Joseph found favor with God, and God loved Joseph, and he blessed Joseph so that he would be able to interpret the dream. And since he interpreted the dream, he was put into a high place of authority and found favor with Pharaoh. And so now, Pharaoh is perfectly fine with him leaving for a little while to bury his father. Then Joseph went to bury his father, and all Pharaoh's servants, elders of his household, and all the elders of the land of Egypt went with him. So Pharaoh even sent his servants and the elders of his household and the elders of the land of Egypt went with him. So Pharaoh sent important people from Egypt along with Joseph. Along with all Joseph's family, his brothers and his father's family, only the dependents, their flocks, and their herds were left in the land of Goshen. So they went. So the family of Israel also went to bury him, but only the dependents and the flocks and the herds were left in the land of Goshen. So only the people who wouldn't really be able to go on a trip. Horses and chariots went on with him. It was a very impressive procession. So it was very impressive because there's a lot of people and a lot of and horses and chariots. When they reached the threshing floor of Atta, which is across the Jordan. They lament and weep loudly, and Joseph mourned 7 days for his father. When the Canaanites inhabitants of the land saw the mourning at the threshing for Atta, they said, "This is a solemn mourning on the part of the Egyptians." Therefore, the place is named Elbow Mizraim. It is across from the Jordan. So Joseph and everybody was mourning so much that when the Canaanites saw it, and would say, "This is a solemn mourning on the part of the Egyptians," and they named it after this event, Abel Mizraim. So Jacob's sons did for him what he had commanded them. They carried him to the land of Canaan and buried him in the cave of Mephilah in the field near Morah, which Abraham had purchased as burial property from Ephron the Hivite. After Joseph buried his father, he returned to Egypt with his brother and all who had gone with him to bury his father. When Joseph's brothers saw that the father was dead, they said to one another, If Joseph is holding a grudge against us, he would certainly repay us for all the suffering we caused him. So they sent this message to Joseph, that before he died, your father gave a command. Say this to Joseph: "Please forgive your brothers' transgression and their sins, the suffering they caused you. Therefore, please forgive the transgression of your servant of the God of your father." So Joseph's brothers saw that the father was dead. So they were like, "Oh, what if Joseph, now that Israel is dead, is now I'm gonna give revenge for what they did." So they sent a letter pretending to be the last letter of Israel. So then Joseph wept when that message came to him. His brothers also came to him, bowed down before him, and said, "We are your slaves." But Joseph said to them, "Do not be afraid. I am in the place of God. You planned evil against me, but God planned it for good, to bring about the present result, the survival of many people. Therefore, do not be afraid. I will take care of you and your children." And he comforted them and spoke kindly to them. So Joseph, after seeing this, and they bowed down to him, he was like, "Oh, do not be afraid. I'm in place of God." So God put me in this place, and I will not do any evil because God does not like evil. So you planned evil against me. God planned for good, to bring about the present result, the survival of many people. So they did this to because they were jealous of him and they wanted to get at him. But God planned it because he knew it was going to happen. He planned it to bring good and bring the presence for result. And he did this so that a lot of people can survive. So that his people, and not just his people, but all Egyptians and a lot of other people would survive from this famine. Therefore, do not be afraid. I will take care of you and your children. And he comforted them and spoke kindly to them. So he's like, "Don't be afraid that I'm going to kill you. I will take care of you and your children." Joseph and his father's family remained in Egypt. Joseph lived 110 years. He saw Ephraim's son to the third generation. The son of Mashon's son were recognized by Joseph. Joseph said to his brothers, "I am about to die, but God will suddenly come to your aid and bring you up from this land to the land he swore to give to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob." So Joseph made the sons of Israel take an oath. "When God comes to your aid, you are to carry my bones up from here." Joseph died at the age of 110. They embalmed him and placed him in a coffin in Egypt. So Joseph and his family lived in Egypt for the rest of their lives, and Joseph lived 110 years. So he saw Ephraim's sons to the third generation. So he saw, I think Ephraim would count as the fourth generation. So he saw his son, great-grandson, or great-great-grandson. And so he says, "I'm about to die, but God will suddenly come to aid and bring you up in the land he swore to give to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Because Egypt is not the land he promised them. He promised them a Canaanite land." So Joseph made the son of Israel take an oath. "When God comes to aid, you are to kill my bones up from here." So he's like, "When you guys leave Egypt and go to the land that the Lord God has promised you, bring my bones and take me to the land." And so Joseph died, and they placed him in a coffin in Egypt and then eventually the plan is to take him to the promised land in the future. And yeah, this is Genesis chapter 50. Yeah? The last chapter of Genesis. So yeah, and it has. So it starts with them taking Israel to bury him in the same place that his grandfather and his grandmother were buried, and Joseph his Joseph's brothers being scared of him, so they sent him a letter. So they forged a letter from Israel saying like, "Oh, spare them." And when Joseph saw it, he said, "Oh, do not worry. I'm not going to like kill you. Like it's, I forgive you guys already." And then Joseph dies, but like tells them once you leave Egypt and go to the promised land, bring my bones with you to the promised land. And yeah. So if any experienced Christian sees this and I said something wrong, please grab me. And if you like this video, like it. And if you think I'm doing something good, then subscribe. And next, I'm planning on doing Exodus, reading all of Exodus next. But the next day, so starting Exodus chapter 1 the next day. But only if the Lord wills, I will do that. But yeah, so I'll see you later on. As I said, if the only Lord wills. Bye.